Hi there, I'm Cheryl with Studio 928, and this is the list of supplies you'll need. And you'll find that the video starts with us mixing white and red paint to create the skin color for Frida's skin with cotton balls. Get ready to paint.
And we're mixing it together with the palette knife. And we're just looking for this pale pink consistency, and you can tell from the image that you have, it's really kind of a pale pink. And then we'll go in again and mix the second color. So that's our lighter pink. Now we'll go for a darker. So we have a smaller amount of white, so we'll do just a tiny bit more red. And better to add less than too much. So we're just mixing those colors together. I'm going to add just a touch more red because I want to build up that contrast between this lighter pink and this darker pink. A little bit more. So that's the process. Is it's always better to keep adding small amounts than starting with a large amount and then your color be too dark for what you'd like. So I think we're getting close. Let's do just a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. Okay, and of course we can change this as we go along if we find out that's not dark enough. So I'm going to rinse off my palette knife. Hey everybody, let me know who's here today. Say hi. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Besides painting here with Studio 928 and me. Okay, I've got my cotton ball, and what I've done already is dipped it in a little bit of water, so it should be a little bit wet. You're on the canvas. Okay, and then we're just dabbing in to our lighter color paint, and then we're just stippling around like this. Don't worry about covering up the lines next to her hair or her eyebrows or anything. We don't want it to seem that we've stopped laying down paint in order to avoid going out of the lines or something like that. So that's already looking pretty good. Hey, Jen. And we're just stippling. And basically that's just patting in the paint. Don't worry about going over the edges. And always take your paint over to the outside of the frame, because it'll look like a finished painting when you're done. If you stop, if you stop short of doing the edges, it's not so nice as it would be if you did go all the way out to the edges. So there, we got a nice layer. Hi, Laura. We've got a nice layer of this pink, this lighter pink. So let's go on and add in some darker pink. And where we put the darker pink in, here you can see how much paint is on my cotton ball. Not very much. So test over to the right, or where your spare place is on your palette, and make sure you have an appropriate amount of paint. So we're going to go around here, around the hairline, where it tends to be a little darker. And also, let's see where else. We're going here. We might as well just go all the way around. Just kind of follow me around. I'm going to stand back because I'm probably putting my hair all in the shot. And we're going in a circle because that's the shape of the face. That's what's going to give it depth. And keep going. And don't worry about the edges because we're still going to have a fabulous blue background. So that blue background's going to cover up all our boo-boos. And so this diagonal line here is her jawline, casting a shadow across her neck. So we're definitely going to go in here and start creating this shadow. And just keep moving in a circle. If you don't like the way your cotton ball is feeling, get a new cotton ball. Don't put too much paint. Okay, we don't want her to have like a ruddy complexion. It should just, you know, it shouldn't have texture so much. But I guess that's a personal preference, huh? If you want texture in your painting, go put some texture in your painting. Okay. Oops. Careful, these little cotton hairs, cotton fibers. Okay. So as you can see, as the paint dries, we're getting that whiter area or the lighter pink area that we had before is starting to fade out a little bit. So we want to go in and do another layer. Hi, Michelle. And I try to keep my hair out of the shot.
You're fine.
Am I fine? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Because it feels like I tried not to wear big hair today, but my hair is pretty much always big. So there's not much I can do about that. Hey, that's starting to look pretty good, huh? And go ahead and hit those lips too. Don't be afraid. Don't leave any unpainted space on your canvas because, you know, it needs to look, it needs to be smooth. And you don't want it to seem like you're avoiding the eyebrow area. It's just like when you put makeup on, you know, if to avoid your eyebrow area, you wouldn't leave this much. Oh, they can't see me. I forgot. My other camera's gone, so you guys can't see what I'm doing. Normally, yeah, okay. So we're still learning that. And if you feel adventurous, now I'm going to take my I'm going to take a clean cotton ball. And I am going to, hi Karen, hi Janelle. I am going to pick up some more of my darker pink. And I think, like, if you look at the painting as it is now, if you're going around the edge and applying the darker pink and then darker pink on the outsides, that's how we create dimension in a painting, by showing how the shadow of being in a room or any place creates kind of an outline on your body. So that's what we're trying to achieve with the darker pink around the edges. And again, don't worry about going out of the lines because our beautiful blue background is going to fix that. But what I was saying, what I was getting to is if you look at this as you begin to give this face dimension, you can almost imagine where her shadow for her nose would be kind of like that. You know, and then a little bit under her nose, because there's definitely a shadow under her nose. She has one of those really cool noses. I always love noses. Okay. And then when you go under the nose, just kind of blur out the edges. I'm gonna go over here too. And you don't have to get real precise with this, but just imply that there could be nose there. And again, don't go too dark with your pink, you should be fine. And let's see, it looks like I'm missing the bottom of her chin. Okay, so I moved that out. Hi, Janelle. So anyway, Janelle and I, Janelle Francine, you could see her on the feed here. She and I are working on something pretty cool for later on this month. We're going to do a girls' night in, and there's going to be a t-shirt involved, and there's going to be wine involved, and there's going to be a great painting involved that Janelle designed for Studio 928. So I hope you guys will stay tuned and watch for that. It's going to be a big girls' night in, is what we're going to call it. And Janelle is designing everything for it. So I'm really looking forward to that. And also, I guess I should also say that it would be interesting to have some outside vendors who are, you know, have candles or that kind of thing. So we can share that with people on this girls' night in event. So tell people about it and have them get in touch with me. And yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go back in. And the next thing we're gonna do, let's look at our reference image. And so now it looks like we're kind of good here. Now, the next color that we wanna pick up is, oh, you know what? I didn't do my ears. I forgot my ears. So if you're probably a step ahead of me, you're like, Cheryl forgot her ears. I'm always forgetting something. I'm old, what can I say? Let's go in there and get those ears. And yes, we will use a paintbrush later on today. But for now, it's Cotton Ball City. So I'm just going back in with some of my lighter pink. Make sure my canvas looks covered. I don't really want to see any actual canvas. Nice. Okay, and also you guys noticed that I put my image a little bit off center. You could have traced it any way you wanted, but because I've done this painting before, I wanted it to be a little different. And actually, I'm thinking about putting Frida in block letters, like right in here alongside. I thought that would be kind of cool. Okay, so the next color we're going to do is blue, and I'm taking my palette knife. And since it's very likely that I probably will use that color a little bit, so I'm going to take some new white. Dan, can I have another palette, please? Okay, we are blending our secondary stippling color, and it is going to be using the phthalo blue that's in your kit, and I have a little container of it right here. Now, I, of course, have lots of paint, so I can just go ahead and add it to my palette like this without worrying about polluting that little tub that I use. So I'm going to put down some blue over to the side. And we're actually mixing the color for this area here, underneath her chin and around here. Okay? So we're going to start light. So I have just a little bit on my palette already, just from dipping the paint out, and I'm going to use that. Turns out I don't need all that blue, but I'll get to that blue later because we'll use it for the background. Oops, I got some pink in there. That's okay though, that I got some pink in there. In fact, go ahead and throw some pink in there. Okay, because that's our first blue. So I'm going to take some of this blue, move it over to the other side, make a mess, and add a little bit more blue. That's darker. And all of these colors are going to play off of each other. So the pink's going to play off the blue, and the blue plays off the black and the orange. Okay, so let's start with that lighter blue first. And I'm grabbing a new cotton ball because we're in a whole different color scheme. And I'm picking up some of my light blue, okay? And according to my image, see where the blue goes? So just use, like you can squeeze the tip of your cotton ball to get into these little areas on the side. So just go ahead and just move it around. Keep some spaces in between your cotton ball. And we can go up a little bit on the sides of her face. Oh, and then I accidentally got some of my darker blue, but that's okay. Yes, Daniel. And then, actually, I made a little boo-boo over here, so I'm going to cover that up. But the idea is just to, oh, there's blue on there. That doesn't help me. The idea is just to make your stippling act like paintbrush strokes. And I'm going to squeeze my cotton ball kind of tight here on the tip. I'm going to go back with my lighter blue, the lightest blue. And I'm going to go just take off the excess. So tap off the excess on the side of your palette. And then let's just go on the sides a little bit to increase that idea of a shadow around her face. And it's just a little bit. It's not dark blue. It's real, like eggshelly blue. Eggshelly. And then just incorporate a couple of spots of blue throughout her face so it doesn't just stop from the edge, okay? But we're not covering up the pink at all. We're just making it so. And then if you put too much paint in one space, you can just brush it away because it's a cotton ball. And we use those to clean it, so sometimes. So just dab off your excess paint. Make sure there's not a big glob of paint on the end of your cotton ball. And just, we're going around the edges a little bit. Just a little bit. Go ahead and hit that ear again that I like to ignore. Yeah, just bring that blue in a little bit. Shouldn't be much blue at all. You can't tell because all you're doing is blurring the edge of the shadow so that it doesn't look like there's not just blue here and then pink there. Oops, and see, I made a mistake. I'm just gonna wipe it away. Okay, so that's our first layer. Hi, Nina Pina. Unicorn. Maybe we should paint a unicorn one time, huh? That's my granddaughter. Okay, and here, let's just do just a tiny bit in here until your face starts to get some dimension. You should be getting a little dimension. Not dementia, dimension. And if you look like you have too much of the blue and you're looking a little different, then just go back in with some pink, the lightest pink, and just use it to help you blend. Now, mind you, I'm looking at my painting from the side, so it's a little bit different. So please forgive me if I'm doing it a little weird from what you might think it should be. Okay, of course I didn't put gloves on, so you want to see my fingers? Fortunately, I do my own nails, right? And it feels good. It feels good to give paint on your fingers. Okay, I'm going back to my darker blue. And actually, you know what we can do? Let us move from cotton balls to paintbrush. Okay, let's see, where are we? Is it only 11:30? Wow, okay. We're gonna go from cotton to paintbrush. And I was gonna go wash my hands, but I'm gonna get you guys started on this before. So I'm going in with my darker blue. I'm using a bigger paintbrush, so use your biggest paintbrush. Now I'm gonna go in and try to mimic what I see here. So from the jawline underneath, I'm gonna start in with I'm gonna go underneath her jawline because her jaw is creating a shadow. And we don't wanna paint it, we wanna dab it, and if you have to turn your paintbrush back and forth to get like a stippling kind of effect, do that. And I think I have too much paint on my brush, so I'm going to take some off. And actually, I better get a filbert. I'm going to get a filbert brush. That's a tapered brush to do this. And you have this in your kit if you purchase one from us, so you should be okay. And I wasn't fine. Okay, we're going underneath here. Yeah, and this should be a diagonal. I'm actually incorrect here. So I'm gonna go in and pick up some of my my lighter pink. There's my diagonal. And it feels like there's a lot of paint there, so I'm just dabbing some of that up. We have to self-correct ourselves. And hey, shout out to Oak Park, Free to a Good Home. My chair is creaking a little bit, but it's because it's set in the basement for 2 years. It's so nice, it's so comfy, and it swivels. And I got it from, oh my God, I forgot her name, but she's on Free to a Good Home in Oak Park. It's a great resource for people who are just starting out and need furniture or baby things or whatever. It's just people giving away things, and instead of buying into the whole, you know, buy culture. And it's good for the environment too, so check out that page. Let's see. I think I ran out of cotton balls. Okay, and I'm going back in now with my darker pink, because all of this is, you know, it's kind of abstract, so you have to work it. You have to work it. All right, so get yours the way you want it. There we go. So now we got that line that we're supposed to have. And like I said, don't worry about going over the edges, because our blue is going to take care of that for us. Yikes! And I'm going underneath because a painting isn't finished if you haven't gone to the edge of the canvas. So, just showing you there. Okay. Right. How do I feel about that? I like it. I like it. So now you get to do the fun part. I'm gonna run and wash my hands because this is driving me crazy. But we're gonna come back and we're gonna do, you know, eyebrows and nose and all that fun stuff and lips. And then, yeah, then we're gonna do the background. Okay. So stay tuned, go get a drink of something, and I'll be right Hey, we are back. Okay, so, and my hands are clean. And that feels so much better. Okay, I'm gonna take all these little nasty cotton balls off of my tray for now. And I'm going to grab a small brush. We're gonna use one of our detail brushes. This one right here. Oops. This one right here. And first of all, though, we'll need to put some paint down, right? She's losing it. She is losing it. Okay. So, our color of choice now is going to be black. Okay, mixed with a little blue. So we're going to take a little of our phthalo blue. Oh, make sure you clean your palette knife so there's no white on it. We don't want any white mixed in here. So we're going to take a little bit of phthalo blue and some of our black. And that's just because we just don't want to have a dead black color in the painting. We want to give it a little life. So let's just take a little bit of our phthalo blue and mix it in. So it has more of a like midnighty color. It's kind of nice. Yeah, it's a little richer. Let me put that little bit of blue in. And now, let's wet that paintbrush a little bit. Pick up a little of this beautiful black. And notice that if we want to keep, we're going to do eyebrows, so we need a nice tip. Because you know how it is when you do your eyebrows, you got to have a nice point. So we get that by twirling the paintbrush with our thumb and forefinger, or index finger. Yeah, I guess that's what that is. And just like that.
Nobody can see because your hand was in front of the camera.
Oh. All right, well, I blocked your view, so I'm gonna do this again. So to get your paintbrush to have a point after you apply paint, just kind of twirl it like that, and then you'll get your point back. Okay, so we're going in for the eyebrows. We love to do those eyebrows. And when you're doing it, you're just touching the tip of your paintbrush, just like the last two bristles. And you're not putting a lot of pressure. Okay, we're not painting the wall. We're painting like a really delicate area of someone's face. So you don't put a lot of pressure on your brush because you want the tip to stay intact. And we just lay down the paintbrush and pull and drag. My paintbrush is a little wet, a little wetter than it should be. There we go, that's better. And actually, now that I painted that, I want more blue. I like the blue like in the image, so I'm going to add some more blue. So it's like a midnight color. Even more. And if you like black, that's perfectly fine. I like that color. Okay, good. So again, I'm just twirling my paint and my brush in the paint to get a nice tip again. Not too much water, but a really nice tip. See if I can see the difference between these two colors. Not too much. And then the best way to get a straight line is just stop what you're doing. Don't dab when you paint, like, unless you're trying to achieve a certain effect, and then just pull in the direction of the line. Super slow. I just thought about a friend of mine I haven't seen online in a few days. Danielle. Okay, let's see. How we doing? We're not frozen. Okay, we're good. Yay. Now, what we're seeing here today, in terms of how we complete Frida, is just to give you an idea of what the technique is. The image that's in the, what do you call it? The picture in the picture? That image took a lot more time than we'll take today, because there's so many layers of color. Unless, is that image, can they see the image I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, they're not seeing the paint palette.
Right. I'm going back and forth.
Okay, so leave that one up for now. So if you look at that image, you can see in her face, even the color of her blouse. There's like a little orangey color in there. There's the blue, there's red, there's everything. And to layer paint like that takes sometimes several hours. And what we do today will be your foundational painting, okay? So you'll want to go back and add some more layers, make her interesting, you know, maybe do something totally different. And then please share with us so we can see how you did, and how, you know, where your creativity came in and how you made this painting your own. Always interested to see that. I always feel like really proud. Like, wow, it's so awesome. So we got those eyebrows, those famous eyebrows. So yeah, I remember, okay, so I went to Mexico when I was like 14 years old, went for this thing called the Mexican Youth Encounter Group. And so I'm gonna use this. I'm interrupting my own self. Danny says I do this all the time. I'm just telling you that we're gonna take our black that we have and move it over to the hair, okay? So anyway, that is, I should say, if you're satisfied here. I went on this group trip when I was 14, and we went to this little town in the mountains in Cuernavaca, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they were just yanking my leg, yanking my chain, pulling my leg, yanking my leg. Danny's cracking up at me over here.
All over the place.
But they said that they were having a hairy legs contest, like the girl in the village with the hairiest legs won a prize or something. So I think it's a cultural thing that she never tried to like pluck her eyebrows or anything. They were just really into the natural state of beauty of a woman. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, stands to reason that she did not. She was not one of those people concerned about where the hair was growing on her body. I know today we see that, I think there's a movement of women who let their hair grow the way they want it, and you know, that's totally cool. But today it looks really odd to us. Back then, that was just the way it was, I think. I mean, I see a lot of pictures of people from those times with, you know, they had hair on their bodies and they let it all hang out. So yeah. Hi, Janice. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the hair up as far as I think our silk flowers are gonna go. So everybody has a nice handful of flowers. I mean, this doesn't have to be exact what you're painting here. In fact, you might wanna, you know, push it back a little bit to make sure that your flowers cover all of this area. And of course this is yellow. I kind of went over that line, but that's okay. So this edge, of course, will be a final edge. Oh, stop, Michelle. Yes, it will. This is your first time. You will be fine. You will be fine. You just take your time. And forget everything you ever thought about painting or about how you paint or anything like that. Just have confidence in yourself that you can do it and you'll do fine. Danny, I don't like that. I do not like that. I'm over here training my son on camera angles. Okay, I do not like that camera angle. His job is to make me look fantastic. Those side angles don't work right now. I'm like 10 pounds into COVID-19 over here.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, who made the sad face? Who did that? All right, so actually I'm gonna get rid of this small brush because it's making lines I don't like. I'm gonna get my filbert brush, which is your little tapered brush. It's smaller and it looks like this. So I'm gonna pick up with the filbert brush. Now on the other side. Am I good? Am I in the way of the camera?
You're good.
This is a learning process for us, you guys. We're learning how to be fancy. Let's see, I started out in my living room, no, in my dining room, and with my little puppy dog in the background. And it was interesting. One camera, initially no fancy light. And now we're working with 1, 2, 3 cameras with a 4th on the way. So we're trying to do it so you have the best experience. Now I can rub out those crazy small brush lines. Okay. So yeah, as many times as I have been to Mexico, I never went to the Frida Museum. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? I mean, as a kid, I was in Mexico when I was 14, when I was 16. Then I didn't go back until I was in my 20s again to Tijuana because it was close. But I traveled to all of those small towns, Pátzcuaro, Morelia, Cuernavaca, Tasco, Oaxaca. Yeah, just all over the place. And my favorite place that I stayed was in the mountains of Cuernavaca. We stayed in a monastery there. And was there Father Ambrose? There was a Father Ambrose that was there. They walked around in the robes and everything, and we were there as volunteers. So one of my main memories is that I got to shovel pig, what do you call it, caca?
Manure?
Manure. That stuff was not manure, it was soup. We had to get on. I'm pretty sure they gave us boots. We had some kind of boots to wear, and we're walking around in this stuff and shoveling it into wheelbarrows. So what was hilarious was that once we got the wheelbarrow all filled, we had to take it from the pig pen to this area where, you know, we just had to dump it in there. So as if the whole experience wasn't bad enough, when you got your wheelbarrow filled and you're on this rocky, unpaved ground, you know, it's like it's a mountain. And you're rushing along with this wheelbarrow and stuff is sloshing out the sides. And all of a sudden you look behind you and there are wild turkeys chasing you. It just is something you never forget. So, yeah, Frida, that's what you made me think of right now, girl. But I never got to see her. Nobody was talking about Frida at the time. You know, this is the 70s, right? Yeah, early 70s. This is the early 70s, and nobody's talking about Frida. At least at that time, you know. So, Dolly was big when I was a kid, but yeah, nobody was talking about Frida. Okay, so we've got the hair done. I'm gonna hit this with the blow dryer, so put yourself on mute so you don't have to hear this. Okay, so I also get to do something else fun today. I got my glue gun. I'm so excited. I love to use this thing. I don't get to use it that often, but it's really special when I do get to use it. Okay, so our next thing that we're gonna do is our background, I think. Oh no, let's go ahead and finish her face. Let's go ahead and hit her lips. No, let's put the lipstick on last. I always put my lipstick on last. So let's do that. Or you can do it in whatever order you want. Okay, so I think now what we should do is hit those ears. Make sure we have enough color on the ears, because once we do the background, all this, you know, is permanent. So I guess we should do the ears and we'll do the earrings. Okay, and again, you can paint your earrings whatever color you want. I'm gonna go back to my palette of pink and blue, and light pink and dark pink. And this time I'm gonna take my paintbrush and I'm picking up some, forgot to clean the black out of it. I'm gonna go with my darker pink. Can we have that in the shot? And I'm just gonna go in and hit these ears again. to come to the edge too, so that there's no carbon paper line there. I'm just going over that carbon paper line. Now I'm going back with some pink, some lighter pink. Oh, hi, Cindy. I'm sorry. I didn't see you up there. Now, I'm going to do something kind of strange. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of I'm going to pick up a little bit of pink and a little bit of blue and go under her nose. So we're just going to take our time doing this because we don't want to screw up one of the most important features of her face. So it's a little pink, it's a little purpley, it's a little bluey. Okay, so just a little bit. And then we're just follow that carbon line, and let's just try to cover it up. And if it's not showing up, it's not dark enough, let's go back in with just a little bit of blue added to that. And just follow underneath the nose. Because that's a shadow. And while we're here on this side, let's stay on one side at a time. I'm picking up some more pink so I can blur that blue line so it's not so harsh. So we're not covering up the line, we're just blurring the line. And now I'm going on the other side. Covering up that carbon line. Looks like we have to hit it more than once. It's a stubborn little line. And now I'm picking up some pink, or my darker pink, and I'm blurring that line. You can actually pull down on it to blur it, but just don't use brush strokes, you know, just tap, 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 tap. Now I'm rinsing my brush and I'm adding a little more pink. And twirling that brush so I can get a point again. And then I'm going in again just to blur all of this. Just blur it because shadows fade. Sometimes there's hard shadows, but this is a softer shadow because it's her nose. And then you see these areas right here that are, those have to be blended. Otherwise it just looks strange. So just a little, I'm taking my lighter pink and I'm gonna give that a point. And I'm taking some paint off my brush. And you're just spreading this out. Spread the paint out so it doesn't look like you just kind of blobbed it there. That's a word. Blobbed it. Okay. Okay. I'm so tempted to do her lips. It's always the most funnest thing to do. Plus I have some red sitting here, so I don't know, I'm real close. All right, let's do some yellow and orange. I'm gonna switch my palette here back to this black one. So we're gonna mix red and orange together and yellow. So let's whip out. So I'm going for kind of like a gold color. So we'll start with yellow. What happened to my towel?
Give it back to you. It's on the floor again.
I'm a mess. Okay, so I'm going to get my yellow. I don't need that much yellow. That's just way too much yellow. And I'm just gonna move some yellow over here because I'm gonna mix my earring color. So I just put, look how much yellow, orange. That looks like a duck. See, there's the face, there's the bill. Okay, so I'm mixing this up. So we're gonna have a shadow and a light color. So this is gonna be our shadow color. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of yellow over here and we're gonna make this our lighter color. See, I didn't even add any, I just used what was on my palette knife to make this lighter color. I have to go with the space I have on my little tray. Oops. All that yellow and green get mixed in there. Okay, hi Eric. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my lighter yellow first, and I'm using my little filbert brush, your medium-sized brush. And let's hit those earrings. Okay, we're putting our lighter color in first, and oh, that's just such a nice yellow. And I gave you flowers that were yellow so they complement the earrings. So I'm just changing the position of my brush so I can hit these edges. It's just, and don't worry about the carbon lines. We're gonna cover those up with our darker color that we created. And I'm just using the edge of my brush. Okay. All right, so while that's drying, let's go up and let's hit the headband on the sides. Remember, I went out of the line on my own headband, so. Fortunately, you guys didn't make the same mistake. But everything's fixable in art, so no worries. So let's just hit that side of the headband. Just pull to get a straight line. And we can get another layer of black.
Creaky chair.
It is a little creaky, but I sure appreciate this chair. And then we can fix this with some WD-40. Okay, so I'm going back in now. I'm gonna pick up some of my darker yellow that I picked up, that I created. This time I'm going a little bit out, and actually, hold on, let's use a blow dryer for this because it's still kind of wet. So we're gonna give you a mute so you don't have to listen to my blow dryer. Okay, we're back. Got her face and her earrings all dry. And now I'm gonna pick up some more of that nice orangey yellow that we created. And don't worry about if it seems like I'm going a little fast, because I can't really gauge how far along you are from where I sit. So the good thing is that you get to watch this video later, so you can paint at your leisure. Okay. So we're going to come down on the other side as well of the earring. And because yellow is such a light color, we'll of course take us a few coats of yellow to get the effect that we want. And then we'll put some light, super white yellow over here so our earrings have some dimension. And we'll do that after we paint the background, which we're just about ready for. Yes, I went out the lines. Bad, Cheryl. But our blue is coming in to save the day, so no worries there. Okay. So are you ready? Hey, Noel. Are you ready for the blues? I'm ready for the blues. Now, don't be worried if your face doesn't look the way mine's looks, because you know, these are all individual original paintings that we're all creating. So everything is going to be different. And I will give you a suggestion right now. And that is, stop what you're doing, take a photograph of your work. See how you're doing. I promise you that when you take a picture of it, you'll be like, oh my God, that really is pretty awesome. So it's called a different perspective. It's really a different perspective. It's like, you know, you're putting it in the mirror. You're taking a different look at it. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to take a picture of your work. And then I am going to get a new palette because I want to use a, now there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can stipple your background if you like. Thank you. You can stipple your background if you like, or you can just paint it. So, yeah. So I'll demonstrate both ways so you can see how it goes. And of course, we're going to start with some of our phthalo blue. And I'm actually going to work with that blue-black that I've already created. And I'm going to start at the edges of my painting. So what we're going to do is, can you pull out a little bit on this image? Because now we're doing the background. Okay, so anyway, we're doing some darker colors out here. We're doing the darker, and then we're going to get lighter as we go towards the center. So it's like a spotlight kind of thing. Okay. So what you can do is, you still need to pull out. I thought this was the camera. No? No. Okay, don't turn that one on anymore at all, please.
It's a good visual up here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm missing the top of the image. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let the cameraman do his thing. And I'm going to put some phthalo blue over here near the black. Okay, and then I also have that blue that I have left over, the baby blue. So I think a good idea would be to let's put some foundation down with this baby blue. So I'm taking my baby blue from before. I hope you can see that.
Put it down.
Okay, I'm waiting for you to switch
You
this.
need to move the bottom tray.
Okay, I'm picking up some of this baby blue first. And I'm just going in around the edges. And I guess I am kind of stipple painting. Stipple painting! And I'm not really that worried about the top. Here. And the reason why I'm putting this down first is because I want the image to get lighter as we go towards the center of her. And I'm gonna take this and go in between her earrings and her face. Oops. Sorry. Oh. Okay, cameraman was trying to tell me something, but I was oblivious, so. Okay, so here's what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna go back, and I'm still picking up lighter blues. And just stay on one side at a time. Don't try to work too far ahead. And yeah, I'm going over her hair. I can go back and fix that. That's okay. We work in a section so that we can blend. So that'll be pretty. Yeah, we'll go in a little darker here. And if you want to switch to a smaller paintbrush, now would be a good time, because we're getting into narrow territory over here. You know what? You can open that up a little bit. Okay, I'm taking my smaller paintbrush with some of that little bit of darker blue, and I'm going in between here. And let's just make a straight division between the earring and the color. How's that? Thank you, whoever gave me a little thumbs up. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Now, you know I'm ready to dive into this darker blue. So I'm gonna just take what's on my brush, or my palette knife, get rid of that. And I'm gonna go in and start here and get lighter as I go. We're gonna give this some interesting texture. Look at that. And just blend. And if you find like you're getting clean, or here, let's go up and get the rest of this paint off of our brush. That's what we'll do. And then I'm just lifting up the pressure a little bit. See here, I'm pushing real hard, trying to get all that paint out of my brush. When I start to get towards her face, I'm lightening up so that I blend. See what happens? So you lighten up so you can blend, so there's no, you can't tell where the blue stops and the lighter blue begins. So it's real. And then wherever you see that, you can see the transition, lighten up, and then start stippling. And then you'll find that the whole thing starts to act the way you want it. So now I'm going back to my, blue and black over here. Because now I'm working towards the edge. So I'm blending a little bit of my black into the blue. And I'm not worried about blending it in too much because this is an abstract background. So we're just taking some dark paint and working it out towards the edge and the side of the canvas. So that should look pretty cool. And don't forget to get towards the edge. So remember, towards the edge we're pushing hard, we're getting that paint out of the brush. As we get closer to the other colors, we lighten up the pressure on your brush so that it looks like a gradual progression of color. Lighter, lighter, lighter. So hard, less hard, tip, tip, lighter, lighter. Those little spaces in between, lighter. You blend out those heavy spots just by moving kind of in a circle. Lighter. Okay, so we just repeat this process and go up the side of the canvas. And those colors, I just love this color. It's such a beautiful color of blue. By itself, it's not so special, but when you put black with it or white, it's so pretty. Okay, now I'm pushing hard. I'm getting the rest of that paint out of my brush. There's a little white in there. Going towards the center. Of course, I lighten my pressure as I move towards the center because I'm blending these colors together. Beautiful color. Reminds me of the ocean. It's like my bracelet. A little bit. So yeah, we're blurring this, and then right here where, see where, if I stop, right there, you can see almost, oh, that's where she stopped. So you take your paintbrush in the lightest way and make it so that you cannot see where I stopped, just by touching a little lighter. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna go back to my palette where I have some blue and white, because I'm moving towards an area that I feel like I need to bring the lighter color out a little bit more. And I'm actually not using pure white. I'm using some of that super light, what was it? Super light pink that we were using before. Because now I'm taking the color of her face and putting it into the background. Okay, going back to my black palette. I guess I could put it right next to here so you can see it. There. And I picked up some black, and now I'm moving towards the center, and I'm pushing this paint out of my brush so that when I get to that area, it's lighter, lighter. As I said, you can choose to just regular paint this. Just put some phthalo blue and white on your brush and just paint it blue. But I think this is an interesting way to complete the painting, and it's original because the last one I painted, I didn't do this, so yours will be an original too. Yeah, I guess you don't ever want to paint the same thing the exact way twice, but sometimes I have to, and that's okay, you know? But you don't. Okay, look at that. Oh, that's nice. That's so funny. So the blue that I've got going on over here with the black in it is a whole different blue from the blue I see on the screen. And I think it varies based on whether you're looking at it in SD or HD, right? Danny?
Mm-hmm. You said it could vary?
Yeah, it varies. The colors that you see vary based on the type of resolution or contrast you have. Well, yeah, we're going around the edges. Make sure you go around the edges. You go around the edges on this painting and finish the way it should be. No matter what your end result is, you're going to be happy. Also, if you just take your time, don't try to keep up with me because you got a recording of this. You're going to be able to watch this later. So just bear in mind, enjoy the process. Don't rush. Don't rush. That song. I think those things that they did are so cool, those videos, but at least I know I don't need to add mine to the mix. It's like, there are just too many of those out there. But I enjoyed them immensely. I like the there was one with the doctors and firemen and military, and they were all really cool. And of course, if you want, you can make your edges even darker than what we have here. So this area, I'm trying to see if I want to do a certain shape. What do I have here? Yeah. So I've been dying to go outside and play today. Like, oh my God. So now I understand why one of my super fans is not here today, because she's out and about. And she and some other painters who she brought into the fold are gonna paint tomorrow. And they're out enjoying the day today. I'm so jealous. Actually, no, it's just so beautiful in the studio that it feels like, you know, you're outside, because we have the wonderful skylight in here and the storefront window, and it's just nice. It's nice. It's my little getaway. I love coming to work every day. So how are those backgrounds going? I wish I could hear from you guys. Who is actually painting out here today? I know there are people painting, but I just don't know who's painting today. Michelle, I know she's painting later today. Kelly's not painting. Cindy, I know she has a kid. I don't know if she's painting today. She's probably outside with her kids. Jenny, I know she has a kid, but I don't know if she's painting. Edith, I think, is just a guest. I don't think she's painting. Janice, I know she's probably not painting. She's in Florida. Is Janice in Florida? Talking to you, Pumpkinhead.
What were you asking?
Is Janice in Florida?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so she's definitely not painting. So I am doing, I'm trying to shape how my highlight around Frida appears. So instead of it just being a random, I'm kind of doing it like kind of a glow thing in terms of the shape. So remember that when you go towards the center, you're just touching real light, a lot lighter than when you're at the edge. Because at the edge, we're trying to get all that paint out of our brush. It's, you know, mixed with some other colors, so we just want to push it out of there. Okay, so let's go in. We're going in now with our lighter blue. And don't worry about these lines, because we're covering them all up with flowers, so. Back and forth to the edge. Make sure we're not leaving any white spots in between, although that's optional. You want to leave white spots in between, that's all you. Yikes. So should it be my goal as an artist to get paint on every piece of clothing I own? I kind of feel like you might as well. Because you know, wear it like a badge of honor. Got a cocktail dress and got paint on it. Yeah, I'm an artist. So I guess I could go ahead and say this. So I know I have people who are watching and who may or may not be painting. So please send me via instant message your feedback and critiques. Help me make this better for you. Help me make it so that, well, we promise to iron out all the technical kinks. We have new equipment coming. In fact, it should be here today, so we should run into this issue again. So that, yeah, we're on top of that part, but could be some other things that you see that we could do better, or something you liked, you know, something you'd like to see more of. All those things help us bring to you what it is you want to get out of art, you know. So I just brought in some pure phthalo blue. I don't know why, I just felt like it. It's your painting, you can paint what you want to. paint what you want to. Ooh, that's pretty. That is so pretty. Ooh, I forgot. I had told myself I wasn't going to do so much blue anymore. Okay, next time I paint Frida, she is going to get a different color background. Right? Everybody's like, yeah, right. Then you'll start painting her and be blue again. God, I have a phthalo blue addiction. I need intervention. Okay. Here I am. I'm just going to hit these edges real nice. So if I painted my whole canvas this color, what color am I going to paint my Frida letters? I'm going to do some Frida letters off to the side because I did my painting off center. It's like closer to this edge than it is this edge. So I think I'm going to like write her name, and I'm going to make this into a t-shirt, I think. Another one, because I have this one. Wait, you won't be able to see it, but anyway, I have my Frida t-shirt from the image that you're seeing on the screen.
It's all right. Look
Oh. It's just like a real television. You look at the wrong camera. So this Frida shirt, but I think I'm gonna like this one better because it's new. So you can look for those too. We're gonna do some Frida t-shirts. Can I really get in that edge? Am I getting it? Yeah, I got it. All around. Picking up some of my light pink and working that in. Hey, Roman. What's up? What was that one thing? Remember that Super Bowl?
Yes,
And what was that thing they were saying?
what you just said.
Was it what's
They're supposed to be doing a quarantine version of it.
Oh, they are? Really?
Just heard.
Huh. See how timely my randomness is? How's that looking? How does that look? Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, damn it. People listening to my random musings as I paint. Crazy stream of consciousness. If I were outside right now, I want to be on a trail. I want to go to Salt Creek. I love Salt Creek. Just walk around there. That was the first place my now husband took me on a date. Salt Creek. And then my boots got all muddy. He wiped the mud off my boots. He had me there, boy. I was like, okay, he's a keeper. We went to has anybody been to what's the name of that place that we the country house. The country house. It's supposed to be a little haunted. So we're about to go into the country house, and I was like, oh dang, my boots are all messed up, from walking in Salt Creek. Went in his trunk, pulled out an old rag, leaned me up against the car, wiped off my boots. I was like, okay. Then we went into the country house. And it had the best pastrami sandwich I ever had in my life. And we actually got engaged there. Oh, awesome, Edith, you're painting? Awesome, awesome. Where are you? Where are you painting? Are you in the Chicago Park? Where are you? Tell me. Okay, I'm doing my blending because I got like this patch of white here, so I'm going lighter because I'm trying to rub out that line of color differentiation. It should blend, 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 blend. How pretty is that? Okay, so I'm going down the side. I gotta get that other side. So when I hang this bad boy, so you guys know I sold the other Frida painting. That was like, it's the one that's on the screen. That one was sold. It went to, what's his name? Ah, oh, man, don't tell him. Marty. His name's Martin. And he's with the Mexican Museum of Art on the board of directors. I was so proud. So proud. And yeah, that painting I did, was it last year? Alset. Oh, okay. Outside. Oh, you lucky girl. On the patio. You must be all set up for the summer. My husband's like, gosh, are we ever gonna get to open the pool? I'm like, dude, nobody's thinking about pools these days. Normally we get like a ton of those, what do you call them? You know, like advertisements for pool supplies. I mean, like they're like constant. This year, not so many, like hardly any, like maybe one or two. We were getting 3, 4 a week in years past. So I'm glad someone set up their outdoor area for outside activities. That'd be so awesome. Okay, I'm going in here with a little more pink, and then I am going to paint here. And then we'll stipple on top of that so it doesn't look so perfect. You can't have things looking perfect. There we go. To be outside painting, I think that's my favorite thing. Except with acrylic paint, it kind of dries a little bit fast, but that's all right. We don't mind that. We just paint wetter. We just paint wetter. All right. So we're coming along this neckline here, so I'm just gonna drag my paintbrush and then we'll go back and stipple it so it doesn't look so odd, and it looks like I need to change the size of my paintbrush, which I'm always real stubborn about, but we don't want to make any major mistake here because it's so hard to cover blue with yellow. Okay, I'm gonna clean off my brush. Going back to get my teeny tiny brush, and I'm picking up a combination of blue and pink. So it's kind of like a bluish, purplish, pinkish color, and we're going in next to her earrings, and we're creating that line. Move my head, he says. And I have to paint to the side, so a little weird looking. So we'll go back and stipple over this so it doesn't look so perfect. Picking up some there. I don't want it to look too perfect. And then I'm taking this line. Don't worry about if the colors don't match exactly because this is abstract. Yes, we are going to get some WD-40 for our chair. We love our chair, and we love the lady that gave it to us, who donated it. Well, it's for that, it's from the Free to a Good Home group in Oak Park. Just search for it on Facebook if you are in Oak Park. It's a great place to recycle and reuse. It's so awesome. Actually, my son Danny can testify that we've always been that way. Not, you know, just in the recycle era. Most of his childhood clothing came from AmVets or some resale place. Always. Always.
Always.
You know, or I sewed. I sewed back in those days. I sewed clothes. I'll never forget. Like I used to sew more for me because that saved us money. Because kids' clothes, you know, at the resale stores were, I mean, practically brand new and so cheap. You know, so for me, I sewed. But I remember when I first started sewing clothes for the boys. You know, boys are boys, right? So making a pair of pants is no easy task. You know, the zipper, the belt loops, you know. I think he wore them the first day and he was at the playground and ripped a hole in the knee. It was like, okay, we're not doing that. You know, I think shirts, a shirt or two I made, but boys' clothes are always harder to sew than girls' clothes. Oops, wrong color. So, what? My hair, I promised, you know, I can't help it, I have big hair. What can I say?
It's the back of your head this time.
It was the back of my head. So I'm just stippling in these colors with a smaller brush because we're getting into areas where, you know, gotta be a little more careful. So I'm just laying my paintbrush next to that line and then I'm stippling so it doesn't look like I painted a straight line. Okay, let's see what we got here. And I'm just picking up random color on my palette. And now coming along that line of the earring. Real interesting, painting backwards, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do, right? Bam. And then I'm stippling, stippling, stippling. Ta-da! I love looking at stuff like this in time lapse. It's like, wow. It took like 2 seconds. It took a whole hour, practically. No, actually it took about a half hour to do all this. I'm going back to the areas where it looked like I painted a straight line and I'm doing some stipple motions. Okay, can we pull out so I can see how my background looks? Okay, while Mr. Cameraman is backing out, I am going to pick up my yellow and orange yellow, and I'm gonna hit those earrings and my headband again. And over here, I blew it. I painted black over my headband, but I'm pretty sure my flowers will cover it up. Why do I keep moving? Moving the paint. Oh, because it has to be comfortable for me to reach. Oops. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I am going to pick up some of my black and blue here. And I'm going to go over to the areas where I kind of went out of the lines. And why not just go ahead and color that all in? Because it's just going to get flowers over it, but I mean, if it was her hair, it would be black. So, you know, feel free to go ahead and hit that with black while this yellow dries a second time. And let's see, I'm going to go over here and hit this area again. Second coat is a charm. Oops, back to it. I'm just going to make that like that. How about that? Yeah, let's just go ahead and fill all this in with black. Don't worry about the flower shapes. That's just to give you an idea of where the flowers will go. And you can change to a larger paintbrush size if you like at this point. I'm going to go to my stipple brush, dip it in a little water, tap off the excess, and go in and pick up some bluish black and finish this area off. Let's just go ahead and do this. That way when we lay our flowers down, if we don't cover them correctly, the only thing that will show through is her hair, which that's a good thing, right? Yeah, just kind of turn your paintbrush to fill in those areas. Ta-da! You know what? Next time we can probably set up over there. You know what I mean? Free advertising. We're talking about the picture window here at the studio. People often stop by the window and try to peek in. Can't really see because I'm so far into the studio. But we did some cleaning yesterday, so we have actually really packed away some of the tables and chairs that we normally have out when people are visiting, and put them away, because we're not using them right now, so might as well use this studio area for, you know, studio type activities. Okay. I'll cover that up in case my flower doesn't cover it, and if it's sticking out, at least it looks finished. There. Okay, so before we go to lips, we have lips to do. I'm going to pick up a little bit more white and make some more pink. There we go, I'm putting just a little bit of white down, because I want to just, you know, fine tune her face so it's beautiful and perfect. And I'm going to do that by mixing in. I'm going to make a little pink, a little more pink. Because some of the stippling I have to do needs to be done with a smaller instrument. So I'm going to go in, I feel like her shadow under her nose is needs to be blended a little bit more, so I'm going to go back and see if I can do that a little bit better. Okay, and that's off that palette knife. I'm coming back with my filbert brush and just kind of tapping in and getting some of that lighter pink. And then I'm just going to see if I can shape this a little bit better under her nose. And it feels a little bit too dark still, so I'm going to add a little bit more white. Actually, better than adding to that, I'm just going to pick up some of this, add it to this. Then I know I'll get the color I want. Make a little bit more of that in here. Yep, that's right. That's good. Not too white. And I'm just pressing really lightly, just barely touching them. And I'm going kind of in the shape of her nose. I'm taking a clean, dry brush, and I'm just going to pull some of that white color up to her nose. There. Also, I can still see my this jawline, this pencil line, or what do we call it, carbon line, and we're just going to tap that out. And I'm going to switch my brush to my smaller definition brush, rinse it out really good, twirl it, and then dry it, and then it'll help me blend this out to how it should look. See, I'm breaking up those hard lines from the filbert brush I was using, because I was just using it to create the shadow line here and to cover up that carbon line here. So I'm just touching edge of her chin along that carbon drawing line with the blue, and then I'm using my smaller brush to blend this all in. Yeah, it's the same thing. You push hard towards the darker part and then get lighter as you go out with the touch, so that it looks gradual, just like a real shadow. Okay, so don't leave that hard line there. If you leave a hard line, it won't look realistic. You break that line down and blend it in, and it looks realistic. So we're going to go around this way, do the same. Oops. Chin looks a little funny there. So this actually can work on both sides. Let's break that line on both sides. Don't press too hard, just tip of your brush, real light. I'm going up the side of her face. Oops. And we're going to fix this before it becomes a problem. Just going in with some pink. There we go. And we're just breaking that line so it's not a hard line. Even though there's a line drawn on your traceable, in real life, that line, that shadow is soft. So if you find that you're making a mistake, just go ahead and, you know, we're using pink and we're using blue here. So make those colors work together to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. So I'm going to go back, and I'm coming in with some more of that darker blue, and we're just stippling it again. And we're going really light now, because now we're kind of shaping her chin very, very lightly, not putting much pressure at all. Touch really lightly. And here too. picking up some pink now. Pink. And just blurring these lines. When you paint, think of Robin Thicke. Blur the line. In portraiture. And other times, other things that you paint, you don't necessarily want the lines blurred. Hard lines are good, but not when you're doing a face. Softened lines are best. It's so fun. I just love doing this. Okay, so you know that the last thing we have to do is the flowers and the lips. But before we go there, I'm going back in with some blue around the hairline. Okay, and you know I'm not gonna just leave that blue right there. I gotta pick up some pink and blend with it. So we're just trying to define this area of her face, this shadow, so that her face looks round and not flat. And this is actually our second coat because we did this before. And we're just picking up the tiniest bit of blue to help give her face dimension. And of course, we're mixing that with a little pink. And just touch real lightly at first because you don't want too much. Right? And little spaces at a time. Don't try to do that. Run that color all over her face because you won't be able to blend it because it'll be dry, because that's the nature of acrylic paint. So I'm adding some wet pink on top of that. I am spreading the color out towards the center. And you could turn your paintbrush this way and that way until you get it so that it's blended in a way that, you know, you can't tell where one brush stroke starts and where another one ends. And I'm hitting right here in the center, and then I'm done with the shadows. Oh, I want to hit the ears too. We have to hit those ears real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back. I took a little commercial break while the cameraman fiddled with things.
No, you don't always have to make that big mention.
I've just been told I don't always have to tell you guys everything I'm doing, that we're doing. Oops. some food. I'm just gonna take my cotton ball and get rid of that. Oh God. Should I just cut my head off my shoulders? That way it will permanently be out the way.
And we wouldn't hear you anymore either.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can get a soundtrack from somewhere. Good grief. Well, I'm gonna have to slam into the paint, into the canvas. Okay. So anyway, let's go in and give these ears a little more definition, and then we'll move on. So I'm just gonna put some little blue shadow right around here because this is where her hair would be covering up her ears a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a little bit right there at the top and then along the hairline. And a little bit around the edge. And then I dried my paintbrush off all the way, and I'm just blurring that line so it's not so, you know what I mean, blur the line. Okay, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's just hit it right here where the airline is and blur that curving line to the outer edge, and let's use some pink to make that not such an obvious line. Okay, so we have to move on to the lips, and then we're gonna, glue gun needs to be ready. So the lips in the diagram are bright ruby red. I do not know what color lipstick she wore. Does anybody know? Did she wear any? I'm pretty sure she did. She did. Okay, so we're just gonna, I'm taking my flat brush, and yeah, you just lay and drag. Lay it down and drag it out. Yeah, I just redrew my lips because I didn't like what I saw. And it's going to take us a couple layers to do this right, so just know that in advance. And you don't, I'm using a bigger brush for this, but you can definitely just use your thinnest brush. So I'm just covering this in because I can still see my lines underneath. And I'm going to give it more detail. So that's our first coat. We're going to let that sit. And while that is sitting, Miss Red Lips, lipstick just makes all the difference, doesn't it? So my glue gun is heating up, and so what I recommend that you do is, because this is just going to take a few minutes and then we'll be done, I would say take a break for a minute, and because I'm going to take a short break. And the reason for that is because what I want you to do is to spend some time arranging your flowers. We're just not going to glue our flowers willy-nilly. Don't, because, yeah, we're going to arrange our flowers. So just take your canvas, lay it down on the table. Okay, so maybe like your biggest flower goes in the center. Okay, and if you find that you have like one of these little nipples on the back, you want to grab something and cut that off, or you should be able to dissect the flower. Let's see if I can do it with this one. Okay, I can't do it with mine, but you should be able to dissect the flower, pull out the stem, and then just have like the back of it. Put it in the center, and then maybe say, okay, let's see, maybe this one right here. But lay it down on the table so you can see what you're doing. I'm just doing this like this for demonstration purposes. And it looks like I killed one of my orchid leaves. But yeah, so go ahead, take a minute, and get your glue guns ready, get your Elmer's glue ready, and we're gonna glue on our flowers. So I will be right back.
It's coming out.
And action. Okay, so a funny thing happened on the way to showing you how to put the flower on there. These little hairy things fell out of the flower and went on her lipstick. Don't you hate when that happens? You ever had that happen? You were getting a haircut and hairs got on your lip? It's highly annoying. Anyway, so I'm beating off those hairs. Anyway, so I hope you had a chance to lay that out so you have a good idea how your Frida's going to evolve. In the meantime, let's go ahead and give her another coat of, I'm done with the hair dryer. It's not plugged in? Okay, never mind. So we'll go ahead and give her another coat of lipstick. I'm going to use my smaller brush. And I'm going to add a little black to my red here. Just putting that on the side because I want kind of like a burgundy color. So I'm taking that color and I'm just kind of mixing it on the side because that's all the space I have left. And it's darker, and that's okay. And then I'm twirling my paintbrush so I get my point back again. And my creaky chair is doing what it's supposed to do. And then I'm just taking that darker reddish black color. Well, it's like blood red. It's like plasma red. No, plasma's clear. What's that? And we're going around the edge and just laying that brush down and pulling it off in a straight line. Trying to avoid the hairs from the flower that fell down. Get out of there. And then I'm gonna follow the pattern of the shape of her lips for the top lip. And it's kind of like that. Like a wine color, kind of. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go almost to the edge. Where's our image so I can show you what I mean? So you see how it looks like, you know, there's a lighter part here and then it's darker in between lips because when you close your lips, your closed lips form a shadow. Then we're going to do this lighter pinkish color in the center to show how full her lips are. So I'm rinsing my paintbrush off. I'm going back to get some of my pure red again. And I'm just finishing, oops. I'm just finishing that area. Oh my God, these hairs, I'm gonna have to fix this later because they are getting in the way. Okay, so I'm gonna give this another coat of pure red. And I'm picking up a little white, and not pure white, but like it's gonna be like a lighter or darker pink, I'm sorry. A darker pink. All right, thank you whoever gave me some hearts and love. And I'm gonna go in the center with that lighter color. Was that you? That was you. It's like, did you have to tell them it was me?
I'm sorry.
You.
No, no, it wasn't me.
Oh, it wasn't you? Oh, okay. Oh, someone else? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going back again with some white. Or with some of my lighter pink. So we're just making that in the center. There we go. The top part of the lip is all polluted with that hair. Ew. Okay. And then I'm gonna go here on the bottom with some of my darker burgundy color so her lips look a little fuller. And just shake that off. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna have to dry that because it's has that hair in there. It's so annoying. Let's see if I can smooth it out with this. Okay, we are going to skip that and come back to that because it desperately needs fixing. Oh, you're plugging my hairdryer in?
Sure.
Oh, I thought you'd already plugged the glue gun in.
I did.
Okay, I'm going to use the blow dryer so I can fix this, and then when that gets done, then my blow dryer will be done. Yeah, I mean my glue gun. So, while I'm waiting for that, might as well skip on over to grab some pink, I'm sorry, some white, and some of our gold from before. I know I'm switching gears on you, but that's what I gotta do when I can't do what I want to do. Because my glue gun's not ready.
It's ready.
It has to heat up.
It's ready.
If it was ready, it would be dripping glue out of it. Don't touch the tip though, because it's probably hot. Okay, so this is a lighter color of yellow than the yellow that we use on the earrings, and it's just to add like a little sparkle. And we'll do that over here too. Okay. All right. So I am going to go and no. I am going to put my first flower on. Oops, I forgot. I'm going to cut some of this off first. Where is my? Okay, never mind. Can you grab me the scissors over there, please? I need the big ones. I was using them right there at the table. Okay, well, I got it. Got it. Okay, so I pulled out that little thing that was sticking up here, and now I'm going over to my glue gun, and I'm putting a little circle of glue right in the center, like that. And giving it a chance to hit the air, and bam, right there in the center. Hold it for a second. And I'm just making sure. So if you're doing this with regular glue, then you're probably doing it upside down on the table so that it can actually sit there and rest. And next I'm going to put my orchid. So I hope you got some good layouts that you like in terms of where to lay your flowers. And you can arrange the leaves however you want. Oh, and I also have some, you should have gotten some of these, the green part in your kit. I love these orchids. They actually have like architecture. Architecture. Architecture, not architecture. Architecture. They actually have the veins in there running through. So, okay, I'm going to get my other orchid. And I have to turn my orchid in because I got a little paint on the side, so I'm going to turn it towards the center. And I'm laying it down. Oh, that's pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Uh-oh, somebody's laughing. What's funny? Oh, you know, it's delayed reaction, so it's hard to tell.
It's probably the architecture.
Oh, architecture. Okay, and then should I put that or should I put this? Because I didn't do my arrangement ahead of time like you guys did. I'm gonna put one of these. I don't even know, are these lilies? These are lilies, I think. Okay, here's my orchid on the side here. And then I'm changing my flower. I'm gonna stick this flower in here to give it some brightness. So I just created a new breed of flower right before your very eyes. And you can do this at home too. Okay, and then I have one more of these, and actually this time I will, since that was such a fabulous idea, I'm gonna go ahead and add my little flower in the center first. Oops. Yeah, next time, like, now, you know, if I hadn't brought that extra stick of glue, that would not have been enough. But, okay, there's all these little trailers from the glue gun.
Spider webs.
Yeah, spider webs. Little glue gun spider webs everywhere. And so we gotta pull those bad boys out. And it doesn't have to be so symmetrical, because now to me that almost looks like ears, so I have to mess that up. It's too perfect. I need some white flowers. I have some white flowers. Hold on. Let me go get them. What the heck did I do with those? It's too perfect. No, perfect. Only nature can be perfect. All right, so I am going to put some let's see, where can I mess up this symmetry? How about there? those look like flower ears. We can't give Frida no flower ears. That's just wrong. Let's see. Here, stick this in the back of the glue gun, please.
What's that?
All right. So I just had to come over here and just take that symmetry out. It's too perfect. Too much perfection going on there. How's that look?
Beautiful. She needs something on the top of her head.
She needs something on the top of her head.
It could be wrong. Like at the top of flowers.
Like what?
I don't know, another flower.
Another flower?
Kind of right center here, right there.
Fine. Put one more little arrangement. Oh, I didn't glue the green.
Good.
There, that's good. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I killed all that symmetry. All right. So still, there's more you can do if you want. Like, if I didn't want to go outside so bad today, I would do this right now, but I will probably do this tomorrow. But what I am planning on doing is going back in again with some blue, like right, where was I gonna put this? Oh, I know. But it can't be too blue because it needs to be lighter. So I would go in here like this and just make this a little more defined. And then mess it up, you know, so it blends. Mess it up, fix this in here, and then mess it up with our stippling. And then of course, don't forget to sign your work. And next week, what we're gonna paint, I can't, do I have it on this phone? No, I don't. We're painting hummingbirds and flowers next week. So, I will post a picture of that. If anybody is interested in a different time of day to paint, we might have to look into that, because if weather gets nice, people are gonna be wanting to be outside. It's like, dude, let's do this at nighttime. But I think the absolute latest I'd probably do it would be like 5 o'clock or something like that, 4 o'clock. No, that's not finished. Danny wants to show you something that is so not finished. In terms of that whole hummingbird flower thing.
It's a rough job.
And here, I'm even going back and putting some red in here. Because if you look at our original, that's one color that we didn't overlap. So I'm rinsing off my brush and putting that in. Go ahead and hit your lips again. If they're not the way you want them, mine are not. My sound back on. My son over here giving me painting instructions. Say, your line is not blended. You need to blend that line. So I'm over here blending the line. Walking a mile. Walking a green mile. Is that better?
That looks a lot better.
There.
Not a lot better, but it looks better.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Feedback over here.
I like it.
Okay, so I'm coming in, I'm picking up some blue and pink and everything. Get some complexity going on over here. Yeah, your layers will do it though. Seriously. Get lots of different layers of color going on. Pick up some more colors of red in the shadows from your flowers above. And even here. Just make sure you do it real light. Don't leave any. Okay. Oh, that is pretty. That sure is pretty. That is a successful painting. So we just need to go in here and fine tune her pucker place. Dude, I want my phone in the way. I haven't taken a picture of my image yet, and I want to. So I recommend that you put your camera on and take a photograph so you can see how you're doing. So that shows me, oh yeah, you gotta fix those lips, girl. You got to fix those lips. That's pretty though, I like it. Oops. Where's my live? I guess it's, okay, well. I'm gonna go ahead and add that burgundy in and then I'll. Good grief, I am having such trouble with this color. Fine, she goes out of the lines. That's just fine. Because you know, it's so easy to paint over red. Good grief. Okay, so now I am just going to put in this fullness indicator. I'm drying off my brush or rinsing it out and drying it off, and then I'm gonna just blend these edges. It's red. Not cooperating with the kid today. Definitely should have blown that dry. Okay.
It's plugged in.
Hmm?
It's plugged in.
Oh. Mm-hmm. So we were just talking about how people are not very talkative. That happens all the time. People just get in the zone. It's like they want to paint. It's like, I ain't got time to talk right now. Talk to me later. So we get it. So I'm going in here fixing where I messed her lip up. Finally, jeez, driving me a little bit crazy. Just a little bit. Okay, I'm a little happier with that. I'm gonna blend this out a little bit. So, okay, so I'm gonna call this done because I sit here and twiddle with her lip forever. Here, let's just put a little poutiness up here. And like I said, don't forget to sign your pinky. Wow, this is on a huge delay. All right, guys, I am going to sign off. I'm going to thank you for joining us today. And let's see, do I have any announcements? So next week, the 23rd, is our Bluebird. Oh, there's my camera. I feel like Lucy. We're doing the hummingbird. the hummingbird and the flowers. And and then we have the girls' night in with t-shirt designed by Janelle, and we're also going to paint her painting, and it's so cool. You're going to really love it. So start promoting it next week, and you guys can sign up. And also the cool thing is that in the process of cleaning and disinfecting and reorganizing the studio, we are getting ready for reopening, not like full reopening, but like in accordance with CDC guidelines and Oak Park guidelines. I think we may be able to get a maximum of 10 people in the studio at a time. So we ordered gloves and masks the end of March, and we're just getting them now, but something told me order a lot of them. So I ordered a lot of them. We're gonna have masks and gloves here available for our guests. And we also have our homemade aloe vera hand sanitizer, and we're cleaning with bleach and what's that, peroxide. We heard peroxide was really good to clean with. So we hope that you'll stick around with us and come back and see us here in Oak Park and do some live painting with us. So enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to sign your painting, and thank you so much for supporting the arts and for supporting Studio 928. Take care.